Hey friends, in this video I want to share with you 5 things that I wish I knew about learning design that would have made me a much better designer much sooner. Whether you're looking to get started in design or whether you're looking to improve your design skills, I want this video to be pragmatic advice to anyone. And if you're new here, my name is Yath, I'm a medical student at UCL and a designer from London. On this channel you'll find videos about self-improvement, technology and design. By the way, if you haven't seen my previous video on why I think it's really important for anyone to learn design skills, then I'll leave a link here and in the description down below. I just want to be clear that it's really hard for me to address everyone's different design needs in one video, so feel free to reach out to me on social media if you have more specific questions. But having said, I want to share with you 5 things that I wish I knew about learning design, so you don't have to make the same mistakes as me. Make sure you stick around, I'll be sharing loads of resources and links to a lot of good stuff, and point number 5 is the one thing that I wish I knew before I started to learn design. Okay, so point number 1, you don't need professional tools. I think starting off you can lose confidence very quickly by looking at the advanced tools like Photoshop and Illustrator. When you open them up, they just look really overwhelming. So hear me out, unless you're a professional and this is your full-time career, I don't think you need professional tools, especially things like Photoshop and Illustrator. Although they're fantastic and you can do really cool things with it, for the most of us, we just won't need it for our different workflows. So when people ask me, how did I learn Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, I'm actually very surprised that people even think that I use these tools to do the design work that I do. And because I told you I don't use Adobe tools, I want to share with you the 3 tools that I use, and that is Figma, Canva and Procreate. Now I do understand that Figma is still quite a professional tool, as well as Canva and Procreate in certain circumstances, but I feel like these apps have much smaller learning curves, therefore making them great apps for beginners. And I will be making more detailed videos on each one of these apps, so please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss these videos. So don't worry, unless your full-time job revolves around design, I wouldn't recommend Adobe to you, and I wouldn't recommend that you get started with Adobe anyway. So the second tip is that you should always look for inspiration. So one thing that's really common within design is having mood boards. And even myself with clients, I'll ask them to send me through 3 or 4 design inspirations, and that really helps me as a designer. And so to help you out, here are 3 places that I would go for to look for design inspiration. So first off, we have Dribbble.com. This is basically social media for designers. And on this website, you have loads of creators who, upload all of their latest designs. Especially if you go into the featured pages or the most popular pages, then you'll find loads of great design inspiration for you. Secondly, we have Behance, which is basically the Adobe version of Dribbble.com. Finally, this is very simple. Just look at your favorite creator with really good design skills. If you already really like and enjoy their work, then you can also take some inspiration from their work as well. There's a really good book that a friend and a mentor, Ali Abdal, often recommends to new creators, and that's Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. And in this book, there's a really good line that goes by, you have to start doing the job that you want, not the job you have, and you have to start doing the work you want to be doing. So the message here is that you have to step out of your comfort zone in order to achieve better things. So feel free to take inspiration from better designers and apply that to your own design work. So advice number 3, design is very much like fashion. What's in trend now won't be in trend in a few months time. So you really have to remain on top of current trends, and the best way to do that is, like we discussed previously, to have sources of inspiration. Places like Dribbble and Behance are excellent places to keep up with the current design trends. And so this is why you'll see me change up my design every few months just to keep up with current trends and to give it a little refresh. I think the easiest way to lose creative flair is to make something and then not change it for 2 or 3 years. Because design moves on very fast, and if you don't move with design, then you're going to get left behind. And so what you'll find is that you'll very quickly lose creative flair if you don't keep up. This is the same reason why apps often have a refresh every year or every 2 years, because they want to keep up with the current design trends. Okay, so tip number 4, one thing that I always see new designers doing is overdoing it. There's really no reason to use every single effect and to cover up every inch of your design with something. This applies to so many domains of life and very nicely to design, and that is that there's so much power in removing and simplifying than adding more and more. For example, if you look at my YouTube banner, it's very simple. It's just a black background with some white text in the middle and 2 graphics either side. I could have very easily added more to this. I could have added effects to the font, I could have made it more funky, but what all of that would have done is just clutter it and provide unnecessary detail. By keeping things simple, you can convey your message much more clearly. Okay, so this is the one thing that I wish someone had told me much sooner rather than later. and that is that you don't have to use textbook approaches to achieve the same results. So one common example of this is removing backgrounds from images. So the default way of doing this would be to use Photoshop, to use the lasso tool to trace around the photo, then remove the background that way. But you can do this with a more backhand approach, and that is to use multiple tools. So yes, whilst it's going to use two applications to achieve the same results, you're going to get the same results, and the end user or the end person is going to know no different. So the advice around this is very simple. You don't have to do everything the proper way, and if there's a way that you can achieve the same results, then that's absolutely fine. No one is ever going to come to you and be like, I want to see the raw files, I want to see exactly how you done this. And I wish someone had told me this much sooner rather than later, because for several years I thought, I need this Adobe subscription, I need to pay for this expensive tool just so I can use Photoshop and Illustrator to achieve some of the results. But you know what? I've been able to do this for about 10 years now, and I've never ever used Photoshop. Only recently have I got it to level up my design skills, but as long as you're happy and your clients are happy, then I don't think you need to use Photoshop. If you're still here, what a legend, thanks for being here. Just to summarize, these are the 5 pieces of advice that I would give to any new designer. So 1, you don't need professional tools. 2, you need to steal like an artist and take inspiration. 3, you need to keep up with current trends. 4, you need to keep it simple. And finally, number 5, it's okay to take backhand approaches. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like my previous video on why we should all learn design skills. And don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel so we can become better friends with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.